Is your mix muddy? Does your kick and bass clash together? Or your vocals doesn't cut through the instrumental? In this video, I'll show you how to solve that using one really smart plugin called Firespacer from United Plugins. You are basically just one click away from the cleaner mixes. Before we start, let's talk about what actually is a Firespacer. A Firespacer is a multiband ducking plugin that creates space around triggered sound. This is ideal for making room for vocals, for making a clear low end, or any other instrument that needs to cut through the mix. It's really simple to use, and now I'm gonna show you how you can use it in your projects. Use case number 1, kick versus bass, low end clarity. How we can achieve that? Here is our bass track, and the first thing we're going to do, I'm working by the way in a Cubase, but you can do this in any DAW that you use. Activate the sidechain and send a kick to this plugin. What I recommend before we start processing is to set up a low pass filters on a kick drum and also on our bass track. Let me show you how to do that. You're going to use any EQ that you got at your disposal, and I'm going to create a low pass filter. I'm going to set it up to maybe 200, maybe 250 hertz on the bass track, and the same thing goes for the kick drum. You don't have to be the exact, but the idea here is so we can focus on the low end, so we hear only the low end frequencies. Now we are going to solo the kick and the bass, and it sounds like this. So let me show you how to set up the Firespacer. On this Firespacer plugin, you got a minimal frequency and a max frequency. It's basically a crossover that dictates what is going to be processed and what is going to be left without the processing, okay? Because we are working with the bass, we want to focus only on the low frequencies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up to 100 hertz. I suggest you to use headphones or maybe a subwoofer if you have some. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, let's hear one more time, but let's bypass it. Here you can hear that when this plugin is bypassed, everything is very, I don't know how to say, you don't hear the oomph of the kick, so you don't hear the punch from the kick drum, and the bass is clouding everything down there. Try to listen again. And when I play it, you can also see by your eyes what is actually removed from the bass track. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna basically remove our filters so we can hear everything playing in full frequency spectrum. So as you can hear, much cleaner low end. Use case number 2, vocals against instrumental, mid-range clarity. Okay, let's say your production is very dense, which means you got a lot of guitars, lots of synths, and whatever. You can use Firespacer to create space for the vocals for you, so you can keep your volume balance at the same level. So let me show you how to do that. My routing in a session goes like this. Every single instrument goes into instrumental bus, but my vocals go into the mix bus. So we separated basically the music Firespacer on an instrumental bus. I'm going to activate the sidechain. As a source, I'm going to route my lead vocals into this plugin. How do we set up Firespacer here? Because we are dealing with the vocals, we don't want to process anything in a low end and anything that is very high end. Minimum frequency, I'm going to set it up for like 500 hertz. And for max frequency, I'm gonna put it to 5K. This should be enough to create enough space without hearing too much of a processing. For release, I'm gonna put it to 10 milliseconds so we can easily hear what is going on. I can't feel any longer. How should I call it? Heart is falling apart. What I've done to deserve everything that I touched. Okay, let's take it to extreme. Touched and to shattered mirrors, those reflections remind me to keep So let's find the sweet spot. Okay, so I find that on a 35%, it sounds really nice. It's really nicely separated, but I don't hear too much of a processing on our instrumental. However, what I recommend you to do is if you set it at a certain point where you hear it's working all right, try to subtract like 5% maybe, just to be sure. You don't have to create too much space, okay? Because everything will sound disconnected very quickly, and it's not a good thing. So I would keep it at 30%. Let's listen. Okay, let's hear again, and I'm going to bypass the processing. And we can hear those vocals much, much clearer. Firespacer is one of those tools that makes your mixes instantly better and cleaner. Even if you don't fully understand the multiband sidechaining, it's really fast, precise, transparent, and keeps your vocals, kick, bass from stepping on each other. If you are struggling with the muddy, crowded mixes, you should definitely give this plugin a shot. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a really nice day. Take care. Bye.